The intro and the outro.
Yeah, we need that. We
Hello
need
and
yeah.
welcome to the Workshop Wednesday by the Entrefluencer Training Company. My name is John Tanner. I'm your host.
And I am your co-host, Sebastian Tanner.
How's it going, buddy?
Going great. Oh, it's going great. It's been a great day so far. How is your day going?
My day's fantastic, man. I'm studying. I'm doing my review now. I finished my tax prep course, and so for everybody who doesn't know, like if whether you're coming back and you haven't heard about what I'm up to right now, I've made a decision to become an accountant. So I'm actually going to go back to college and take some undergrad classes. I need eight. You're supposed to have to have 10, but I think I'm going to have credits for 2 in my master's program that I've already done. So I have 8 classes to go. But before I start taking those classes, I decided to go ahead and become a QuickBooks Online Pro advisor. So I'm learning bookkeeping through that program, and I'm also taking the Intuit tax preparation course, which I just finished, and now I'm doing my review before I take my exam, so I can get my badge for tax prep, and then I need to get my tax ID number so I can start doing taxes for people. So that's where I'm at right now, man. I'm just in the books, and I studied a lot
Okay.
today doing my review for the exam, and I'm happy, man. I'm really enjoying this content.
Oh,
How about
I'm
you?
happy to hear that. I didn't catch everything you said. I was having some technical difficulties over here.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't know what's going
Nope.
on. Yeah, but I kind of caught the gist of what you were saying. I'm happy to hear that, man. You went through that course incredibly fast, I would say. That was like I think a bit faster than the average. Like I mean, for myself, I think it would have taken much longer than that to go through the whole course. So,
Well,
congratulations on that because that's like stellar. The speed that you were able to go through that entire course. It's a lot of information.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was taking my time on it, like because I really want to get this down. Like I don't want to just do it
You
like
want
good
to
enough to pass
digest
the test,
it.
but I want to be
Yes,
a good advisor. You know, like I really want to be a good tax advisor, and
absolutely.
an accounting advisor. So like I'm taking my time with it, and
Yeah.
fun, man. I love being a student. So I wish I could do it all day long, but you got to make money, right? You got to do other things. So.
Yeah. Unfortunately, unfortunately, bills got
How
to be
about you,
paid.
buddy? What's going on, man? I know you started your new job a while ago already, like
I
what, a
did.
month ago
Let me
or
see.
something? A
Let me
couple of
get on
months?
here.
There
Hold on,
you
let me
are.
go.
There
There
you
we
are.
go.
Good to see you, buddy.
Let me
So
let me get up. I'm
tell everybody
super
about that
casual today,
because
guys.
what happened? What?
I said I'm super casual. I'm just on my bed right now.
Yeah, me too,
I
man.
have a little
Super
setup out there, but she's making some dinner for us and everything, so I don't
great.
want the background noise to be too loud. But
No worries.
yeah, things have been great. I mean, with the new job, it's been exciting over there. Like I love it. I love doing garage doors, and I'm still in the industry. So for
Yeah.
me, it's fun to be able to still stay in the industry. Like instead of doing something like like going down a different path, I'm happy to continue because now since the last time we've been on the show, I was installing doors, but now I'm
Yeah.
in the warehouse side of things.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really fun. Like I already understand everything that goes into the garage doors. So if people have a question, I'm not just a warehouse guy, I'm also a technician. So I also
Yeah.
understand what's going
That's
on.
great.
Yeah, it helps. Like it really helps with being able to understand the customers and solve their problems. Like if they want to describe something to any of us, they kind of look to me to be able to solve that for the customer because I have the experience in there as a technician. So if someone has a weird way of explaining something, I already can kind of like visualize mentally, like I can be putting myself in the position that they are inside the garage. So when they
Yeah.
talk about something, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah. You've
So
experienced it. So that's
oh
awesome, man. That's
yes,
really awesome.
yes.
Wow.
Thanks. Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. I mean, my coworkers are fantastic. I really love to work with them. I get along with all of them. So
Great. That's
it's a
really
great
important too.
experience to be over. Yeah, like I've had a
That,
lot of
that
jobs where I didn't get along
yeah,
with
yeah.
everyone,
It's awful to be in a workplace where you don't get along with the people that you work with. That's not a good. It doesn't. It's not sustainable.
I don't think so. No, not for
Yeah.
longevity. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
looking for like a career position. I'm not looking for something that I'm just gonna get my feet wet and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing in the near future. That's not really what I want. I want to be able to build something,
Yeah.
especially with
Stability.
my own business on the side.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know,
And you're learning
it's
so
good.
much.
I've been learning. I mean, it went from I didn't know anything about garage doors to I learned how to install garage doors to now I'm making the springs for the garage doors and I'm learning the other aspect of it. It's like at first
Uh-huh.
I was just a technician, but now I'm learning the other side of it too.
Yeah,
So
which is warehousing, which is it's production, right? You're in the production
yes,
side of things, and you're so your clients are the people who do the garage door installations, right? The companies, the technicians.
yes,
You
it's
sell to you sell the products to them, right?
yeah, I'm selling
And are they
to
custom made?
dealers and to I'm selling to dealers. I guess to answer the first question,
Okay, dealers.
we sell to dealers of garage doors and to companies like garage door companies that they have their own technicians and stuff. I'm
Right,
selling to garage door businesses
right, and
essentially.
yeah, and
Um,
that's probably really high volume, I would imagine.
it is. I mean, right now it's getting a little bit slower, which is it feels nice because it's been a lot of work. Like I
Hmm.
had days in there where there wasn't a break that we took. Like
Hmm.
it was like all day 8 hours nonstop, go go go,
Hmm.
and we get enough downtime in there that it makes up for it. So I'm not looking like oh I need my half hour break today or something like that because we have downtime where we can chat and we can relax,
Okay.
and then we put in the effort that's needed as well. So, but when I first started with them, it
Yeah.
was freaking hectic, man. Like it was really crazy, super busy. It's still busy, but dying down a little bit. As far as your question about the custom doors goes, we get doors from Haas. Haas is a company that manufactures doors.
Manufacturer. Okay.
We stock their doors. We're a
Okay.
supplier, so like we
So
have a lot of parts.
yeah, so you guys have a contract for that, I would imagine.
Essentially, yes. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're partners. Like Standard
Like yeah,
Door is the company
authorized
that I work
distributor.
for. Exactly, we're a distributor. Yep. So,
Yeah.
and like when
That's
you look
yeah.
at
So
a
that's
Haas
kind of like a
magazine, you see our
franchise,
name.
Sebastian.
Yeah, yeah, it is
Like
a
a franchise.
franchise. Yeah, they have.
Distribution, being an authorized distributor is like having a franchise.
It is. I mean, there's 6 locations for Standard Door across New England. So
Okay. Okay. And then
it is a franchise for sure.
okay. And so you don't sell anybody else's product. You just sell that one company's product.
We sell Haas mainly, and we also sell Safeway.
Okay, so you
So
have two. Yeah, you're
we
distributing
have two
two different companies. Okay, and how
exactly.
many ballpark figure? How many doors are y'all moving on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis, I mean, I would say it could be a minimum of like 20 doors a week. It
Okay.
depends. Like, I mean,
Okay.
I have days where I mean, like for example, for we loaded deliveries for tomorrow, right? We loaded some deliveries for tomorrow, and that's just one aspect of the day. Like some people came in to pick up doors earlier, but in terms of the customer we had pick up doors, customer came to pick up 2 sets of doors earlier, and
Okay.
then we had to load the truck up for tomorrow's deliveries, which was I think about 5 doors. I think we have
Uh,
about 5 doors, 6 doors going for delivery for tomorrow.
okay.
So that kind of consisted of today. Actually, I think there might have been like 3 or 4 more doors that were sold. I ended up cutting springs. I had to make about 30 springs at once because we had a
Wow.
guy came in.
That's a
Eh,
big. That's a tall order.
it was. I mean, you have to get the torch going. I learned how to use a torch now. I never knew how
Get
to do
out of
that
here!
before.
Really?
I'm cutting metal with the torch. I'm
Get
doing all of
out!
that.
You know
Yeah.
you know what that's going to be great for?
What?
Container
Container
homes.
homes? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It is. It absolutely is.
Oh my
I
gosh,
mean,
man, that is
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, I learned how to use a torch, so it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Making 30 springs at one time is not cool though.
Yeah,
That
that's a
was
lot of
not
work,
that
man. You
fun.
got to be careful
It
too.
you have to be careful. Yeah, like
Yeah, because you
it
can
can
cut
get
yourself pretty easy with
I
metal.
mean, I went through a jacket, like I started burning holes in a jacket. Like
Oh,
I learned that lesson. I bought a Carhartt. It's much more durable.
okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
What's
like
that?
that
What's a
was
Carhartt? I've never heard of that.
so a Carhartt is a brand that they make for a lot of blue collar workers. So if you're in
Oh,
the blue collar field, like in
oh,
construction,
oh, okay. Heavy duty
um,
clothing.
it's heavy duty. Like
Yeah,
it's a little bit more on the pricey side,
yeah,
but you get
but it
what you pay
lasts.
for.
Okay,
I bought this jacket. It was $100, and I'm gonna have it for the next like 5 years or more, as long
okay.
as I take care of it. it's heavy duty. I mean, so like my other jacket was getting cut up left and right. I'm kind of going on this spiel. I want to make it quick, but
No, that's
I
okay.
had
Take your time.
I had a puffer jacket that I was using at first, and so not only the warehouse is really cold, so it's like 20 degrees outside, and I'm freezing my
That's
butt off in the
that's,
warehouse.
that's it, dude. That's insane. I don't know how you do it, man. You're God bless you.
I don't know either, man. We just keep moving, and then the thing is, when we have our downtime and we start talking too much, I'm like, okay, we got to start doing something again because I start freezing. I'm like, it's like when you're constantly going, you're like your body heats up. You're constantly moving doors, panels, carrying things, lifting and whatnot. When you stop to talk,
Yeah.
if we have like a 10-minute conversation, I'm freezing again. That's how it was in the old jacket. In the new jacket, I'm not freezing anymore. So get a Carhartt, guys. I'm not sponsored, but that just shows you it makes a difference. I'm telling you. But that puffer jacket, like you think about it, I'm in a metal warehouse surrounded by a lot of metal objects. So it's insulating cold air. It's not really, and nothing's keeping warmth in there. So
Okay,
with
I got one more question for you about
yeah,
the warehouse. How many bays do you have for trucks to pull up and collect goods? Just so I can get
the
an idea of
trucks
what
the
the size
trucks
of the.
don't. Yeah, so the trucks don't pull up into the bays, but we do have bays. We don't have a loading dock or anything like that. But we do have bays. I'll actually send you pictures tomorrow when I go to work. But
Okay,
so we
so how many
have
trucks can pull into the bay at the same
one.
time?
Well, they would pull up next to the bays. But
Okay.
in terms of like bays, we have one. We only get like one truck delivery, like a big truck for delivery. We get like one like semi truck, like a tractor, like a big trailer.
Oh,
In terms
okay.
of like regular trucks, like
And
that
you guys load it with a
installers,
forklift?
we do use a forklift. Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned how to use the forklift too, so that was
Get
pretty
out of
cool.
here. That's
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's
I learned how to use
great,
the
man.
forklift. It
That's
took me
pretty great. You know,
like
I
one
think
try.
even I Florida's notorious for low pay, but I think
It
that
is.
here in Jacksonville, forklift operators are making 18-20 bucks an hour,
It's definitely more. Yeah,
and
they
that's
make more
great
than the
compared to
average.
like $12 minimum wage.
It makes a big difference down there. It makes a
Yeah,
big difference down there. We
yeah, that's a
have
good skill for anybody who's working in the
one,
trades to
two.
have.
It is. I think we have about one. We have two bays in the first like section for our. We turned that ended up like because I've been making like helping them make a lot of adjustments with the warehouse.
Uh
So we
huh.
have two bays for what we have for parts now. We put a lot of parts like overstock. So we have an overstock pile that's two garage doors. That's two bays. Then we have a bigger bay next to it to the left of it. We have
Okay,
another bigger bay that's like it's a 16-foot garage door. So like imagine that much
that's
space.
yeah, like two, a
Um,
size of two. That's pretty
yeah,
big. It's a
so
pretty big
that's
warehouse.
four. We have five bays technically. We have
Yeah.
seven, but we're gonna lose two of them.
Oh, okay.
So
Shrink it
there's
down a little bit.
technically seven. We're gonna go down to five because the landlord wants to rent it out, but that hasn't happened yet, and he's been
Hmm.
talking about it for a while. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but we'll
Take his
see. But
time.
it's
Tell him
a
he can take his time.
yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. Just yeah, don't worry. Take your
Yeah.
time, no rush. I like using that space right now. Yeah, it's a decent sized warehouse. It's a
Okay.
decent sized warehouse. It's good. But yeah, anyways, the Carhartt man, I got it is rip proof. So I was using a puffer jacket before, and the metal tracks that the garage door, goes up and down on,
Hmm.
I would walk by the tracks and it would cut my jacket, my puffer
Oof.
jacket. It was cutting it left and right. I got the Carhartt. It's like it's cut proof. I'll go in. I can rub the track against my arm, like the sharp part. I
Hmm.
can drag my Carhartt against that track and it's not going to rip. I
Hmm.
mean, oh God, it was a good investment. I'm telling you, it was nice. Like my pocket knife won't do nothing to the jacket. The tracks aren't doing nothing to the jacket. It
Great.
solved all my problems, and now I'm warmer at work, so I'm not
Yeah, keeps you
completely
warm as
freezing.
well. So
It
yeah,
does.
you got to
It
have the right
does.
gear, man. You got. I don't
You
care what you
do.
do. You've got to have the right gear for the job.
It's just like having the right tool for the job. You can spend a half hour on a job or 2 hours, depending on if you have the right tool.
That's
It
right. That's
it
right.
changes the game.
It
So
changes the game. It's a game changer
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
a game changer. But yeah, anyways, I love being over there. It's great. I mean, it's a good feeling to have because when I was first getting into like the workforce, and I'm trying all of these different, jobs, these different
Yeah.
avenues. I
Yeah.
didn't like anything that I was doing. So it feels really good to enjoy what I do. I mean, I can go to work every day and I'm not watching the clock,
Yeah.
which
And you've been in this garage installation business for almost a year now.
January 26th will be 1 year.
Dude, that's over here. We're already here. That's like 2 weeks away. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Congratulations, man. I'm
Thank
really
you.
proud of you. Not
Thank
only
you.
because I'm
Thank
your
you.
dad, but just because as an entrepreneur, man. It's
I
that's
appreciate
fantastic.
it. It
You
was cool. I mean, it's very cool. I actually, somebody paid me the other day to go over to Worcester with them to teach them how to do tracks because they had installed the door, but they needed help with the tracks.
oh,
So I went after work to do that and made some more
nice.
money. So it was very cool.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Man. Yeah, I know, dude. And you've already told me about the other fringe benefits that you've gotten, the bonuses and the thank yous and the would you get a Dunkin' Donuts or something gift card from a
The
client?
customers, the clients that we have gotten us all like, not every single client, but like the main ones, the main clients that go there often, like every week,
Hmm.
every day. I
Hmm.
mean, they got us. I got like three different gift cards for Visa gift
That's
cards. I
awesome.
got a Dunkin' gift card.
that
The company
was a
gave me a Christmas bonus, and I
that
was
was a
like,
good Christmas.
it was nice, man. I had just
Yeah,
started with them. I wasn't
yeah,
expecting anything at all,
yeah.
and
December was good for you, man.
it was like, well, December also cost me a lot of money too, but it, it was nice to have that. It kind of helped out. You know what I did was I used it to get more gifts. Um, it was it's different when you're a kid versus being an adult, man. I miss being the one that just got all the gifts.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I have to start getting gifts.
Cost a lot.
um,
Yeah, for sure.
it does, yeah. No, but yeah, I got my first bonus, like my like monthly bonus. I got my first bonus my last paycheck. Not
Not
not the one that I got today. It was like the first week of this month that
okay.
I got my first bonus. I've
Great.
never been somewhere where I got a bonus before,
That's
so
awesome. That is,
it's very cool.
it's a whole lot easier to go to work when you're getting some of those, right?
Oh, it definitely is. They reward you for your hard
For your
work,
work.
which
Yeah,
I
it's nice to
like.
be appreciated.
It is. That's what
Yeah.
everybody wants.
Yeah. 100
Yeah,
for in everything. In
it
everything.
is.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great company, man.
That's
I'm
good, man. I'm
enjoying it a lot.
really glad to hear that, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. And we're gonna
Thanks.
so you're gonna continue to keep reporting to us about what's going on so we can track you and see what you're learning as you're going along because as we talked about before, even when you're an employee, you got to think with the mind of as an entrepreneur. And so you have the opportunity to
Yeah,
like, you look at it as like I'm in training. So if I want to own this company one day, I'm learning everything I can about it so that I know how to run a business like this one day. I can make an investment and
exactly.
know what I'm talking about. So you're there with the eyes of an entrepreneur in training. And so like I'm just really eager to hear about your observations as we go along in your journey as we follow along.
Yeah, I remember when we had that conversation, and it's amazing to grow up and mature and think with a different mindset and think in the mindset that we're speaking of right now, as if
Mhm.
like I'm the business owner. To think
Yep.
as a business owner versus an employee
Yeah.
is two entirely different things.
It's a
So
game changer.
it is. It's really cool to go through this. It's been hard to transition to an adult. I will say that.
Yeah.
It's been really it's been tough. Like I'm getting to a point now where I'm really enjoying it, and it was hard to get to that point. I've been missing you guys a lot. I
Mhm.
like it's tough to not be near my family.
Mhm.
I'm out here in Massachusetts, and you guys are in Florida. So like in
Yeah.
terms of
We're across the country. Yeah.
we're across the country, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like figuring out adult things, like
Renting your own
there's times
apartment,
where
transportation, food
it's
costs,
a lot
all
it's
of
a lot
it.
of stuff
Pay
that yeah.
utilities.
I really realize what this money like means to you guys now. Like as a
Yeah.
kid, you have
So
no
easy to be a
idea.
child and not have to worry about the bills.
It's so that oh God, I wish I mean I don't know why I was in a rush. I will say that. I
Everybody says the same thing.
I don't know
Everybody,
why I
all the
was in a
kids are,
rush.
like when you're a child, you're a child. You You want to grow up. You want to have responsibilities. You want to do your own thing and have your
Yeah, you
freedom.
don't. You
But with
think you
that
do.
freedom comes responsibility, and it's
Yeah.
on your head.
Yeah,
So
Spider-Man made it seem so cool. Great power, great responsibility. I don't want responsibility, man. I don't want bills. I don't want bills. I don't want responsibility. I
yeah,
don't want.
listen. The only one who gets it easy in this game of life are dogs and cats. They're the only ones that get
Oh
to
my
lay around.
gosh. No, yeah,
You
it's so
know,
easy. This cat
they get
over
to play
here
all day
is
and they get
like,
fed and they get their
yeah,
bellies rubbed.
yeah. You
Yeah,
get pet, you get loved, you
they're
get
pampered.
square meals a day.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's too easy
yeah,
for them.
yeah. If you want to be lazy, come
Um,
back as a dog or a cat.
you want to live for free? Come back as a dog or a cat.
Yeah, you just
Then
got to
you'll
deal
be
with
good.
fleas every now and then.
That's terrible. Oh gosh,
Maybe a
man.
tick. That would suck too.
Oh god, that would be rough.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully you get born into a good family and you're not an alley cat. You might be a little feral.
Oh man, that'd be rough.
Oh
I
man,
don't want to be a homeless cat. I want to be a cat with a loving family.
that's right. That's right. You would be like Garfield.
Oh man, that's funny. Garfield just freaking getting fat, eating everything that he
I'm telling you,
wants.
man.
Oh
That's the good
man,
life, right?
for a cat it
For a
is.
cat.
Yep, that's a great life. It's like he's living like a king.
Yeah. I see some of these dogs, man. I mean, like I don't know if you remember when I was dating Michelle back in Miami. She had
Yeah,
um a Maltese, right? And she had a stroller for the damn thing.
I personally think that the stroller defeats the purpose of the dog getting exercise.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I
No,
think that
it's
it's like it's
ridiculous.
not like it's your baby, but it's not
Yeah,
a baby. It's not a baby human being baby. It's a
right.
dog.
It's a
It needs
dog.
to walk. If you don't
Yeah,
let it walk, it's
yeah.
gonna get stir crazy. Like, yeah, it's outside, it's nice, like, oh yeah, it can look around, but the dog needs to move, it needs to exercise.
I think it depends on the
It's
age. Because like if it's old and it can't walk around very much,
if
then go
it's a
ahead and
senior dog, if it's a
if it's a
senior pup,
senior, get it the stroller. That's fine.
yeah, that's
But if
amazing.
it's
But when
young,
you
it
have
needs
a
to cut
young
its
dog,
it needs to
yeah,
cut the nails anyway, and so walking on the sidewalk helps
that helps that too.
trim the nails down
Yeah, exactly.
naturally
No,
without
that
having to pay
also
somebody to
helps.
do it.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Yep. That's
Well,
one less
listen,
thing to
I want to go
expense.
ahead and pivot, shift over
Yeah.
to the subject for today's webinar, and
Yes.
I just want to go over introduce our audience to and to you, Sebastian, because I know you haven't seen this yet before. But
Yeah.
so my transition in real estate has been to become a business broker, right? And what that means is that I want to help business owners sell their company, right, as a broker, be
Hmm.
their business broker. But I also want to start training as a consultant. I want to train business owners how to look at other businesses that they want to be able to buy to grow their company. Because if you like, let's say you're the owner of that company that we were talking about, the warehouse, right? The garage manufacturing company. Let's say if you wanted to open up another location and you're going to build it from scratch. If you were to open that location, the first thing you have to do is you're going to have to find the location, get the contract for leasing the property or purchase from scratch, build it from scratch. Most likely, you would probably be leasing a warehouse space. Then you have to hire employees to come work for you, get the inventory in, start looking for customers. That may take you a year to 2 years to ramp up the business to where it's fully operational, like the one that you're in right now, right?
Right.
The alternative, the shortcut, is a micro M&A growth strategy, which M&A stands for mergers and acquisitions. The first part is the acquisition, not the merger. The acquisition growth strategy is this. You go find a company that's doing the same thing that you're doing in a different location where you want to expand into. Let's say that you're going to expand. I'm here in Jacksonville. Let's say that I want to expand into Miami. I'm going to go look for the exact same garage warehouse company
Right.
that's operating in Miami and see if they're interested in selling their business. Okay. If I buy a business that's already existing, guess what it has? Clients,
Clients.
cash flow, systems,
Yep.
employees.
You have all of their you have all of their previous clients
You have
that
you have
you can
everything you're
some
looking
of our
for.
clients bought a business that the people were dying out,
Yeah.
and they bought their business and they got all of their customers.
Yeah. Yes. It's already been tested. It's proven. As long as the financials, you have to do your due diligence, right? There's legal due diligence, there's financial due diligence, and there's
Yes.
commercial due diligence. Is the business actually, is the economy good? Does it look like it's going to continue to run for a while? And if you meet all those check boxes, right? You cross off all those boxes. If it looks good, then you had to make the transition because you're buying a proven, tested business. And as long as you maintain the operation as it is, you're going to continue. You're going to make profit instantly from day one.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go open up and take a risk. It's more risky to open a new location from scratch than it is to go buy an existing location.
I agree because I mean I've seen it and heard about it with our customers. I'm trying to get camera angles are terrible on this thing, man. It like I move it a little bit and it goes crazy. Anyways, I've seen it with our clients. Like this one mother and son bought a business and now they're one of our busiest customers. I see them. They come and pick up doors or parts just about every day, every other day of the week. They are over here frequently with us. So they're obviously getting a lot of business,
Yeah.
you know? So, I mean, stuff like that. When you buy a company that perhaps they're passing away, maybe it's just the fact that like we had one company, there
That is
was
another
part of our
situation. Yeah.
warehouse. Yeah, there's part of our warehouse where the father passed away. He wanted his son to continue the legacy of the garage doors, and the son wanted nothing to do with the business.
That happens all the time, by the
And
way.
the companies die out. And so when you buy them
And
out,
it's
they
sad to
have
just
their
let it go when you
history.
work so hard to build
They
it up.
do.
Yep.
I personally, if I had a business, if either of us had a business handed to us, I don't care what that business is. I'm gonna learn how to run it. I don't care what it is.
I
I
like
will
that.
learn. You know, I will learn. I mean, I've had to learn so many things. Like I can learn anything. I don't care what it is.
Yeah,
You apply
exactly.
yourself, like
Yep.
we can do that. If you have a business with clients already, like I would love when you start your own business, you have to build your name, you have to build your reputation, you have to go and find these customers. Buying an existing business that especially has had longevity and
Yep.
they've been
Proven.
around for several years,
Yep.
they have might not be as big as like FedEx or UPS or Walgreens or something like that, but they have a lot of clients that are going to be doing business with them. And now they're all your clients. It's your job to
Yep.
do as good a job as customer service as they did.
Yep.
Because that's a
Yep.
problem that I see with businesses is that I've seen people try to buy out a dying company. Not people that I know myself, just I've just seen it online. You know,
Yeah.
everyone, this is
It's an
social media
observation
highlights everything.
in the
I
marketplace.
mean, these observations in the marketplace, yes, that they buy out in the dying out company and they just can't get it to go. Like they can't either figure it out. I've heard it even with my industry. They told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
How these people have bought out these dying companies and their customer service is just not as good as the old company was. They're not running things the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, they lose the clients that have been with that business for so long because
Yeah.
the other people cared. That's the
They run
difference that
they
I
run
see
them
with
away.
today. That's
Yeah.
the difference that I see with today is that people don't care the way they used to about their work, their quality of work, and
Yeah.
it's a shame
Yeah. They don't have good
because
work ethic.
they don't want to work. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, they want to
Yeah.
sit at the home and continue collecting COVID checks. Like, I'm sorry, buddy, we're
Yeah.
back
It's
to the
been
real
4 years
world.
already. Let's get over it.
Get over it. It's been 4 years. Stop looking for the stimulus checks because it's really like it's pissing me off at this point.
Yeah.
Stop. Get off your butt. Like it's been there. We've been there. We did that. It's time to go back to the real world, which is you need to get off your butt and you need to go and work and you need to
Yep.
pay your bills.
Yep.
And
Pull your
you
weight.
have to not only just go to work, but there's a lot of people going to work nowadays that don't want to be there. Their quality of work is so low because they don't want to apply themselves, and that's why people will fail. I don't want to go on too deep, but I'll wrap it up with this, and then I'll let you continue. Is that you know the strategy to buy a dying business is an amazing strategy that's is already proven, like you've said, and I've seen it in my industry. It's proven across all industries, but don't buy the business if you're not going to apply yourself to the best of your ability and try to either not, and for us, it's not just trying to match the customer service that the previous business did because those clients are expecting that. It's to go above and beyond.
I
You're
agree
taking over
100%.
the
I'm so
business
glad you
now.
said that because I was thinking it.
It's not about just being average. It's not about just doing what they did. It's about going further. I'm going to be the one. I'm Sebastian. I'm your new garage door guy. When you come for
Yes.
parts, I'm your new guy. And actually, I'm going to hook you up with some parts for free because I want to earn your trust as a
Yep.
client. I know
Yep.
you enjoy doing business with the old guy Rick, but the old guy John with the old guy Alan. But you
Mhm.
know what? I'm taking over
Mhm.
operations now, and I'm going to show you that I will earn your trust
Right.
with
I
your
want you to be a
relationship
lifetime
with this
customer.
business. I
Yep.
want you to continue. I want you to
Yep.
continue.
I
You've
want you to
been
have such a great experience. You're going to tell your friends and family about it.
absolutely, and I think
Right.
that that's what's lacking in these
Yep.
industries and in any industry now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, it
so
is. It is. It's so like really the best places that you can get great customer service still is Chick-fil-A.
yes,
You know, that Chick-fil-A still
always
does in Disney World.
yes,
You know, they're notorious. Like if you think who has great customer service, those are the first two names that mostly
both
often
of
will
them,
pop up in somebody's mind, right? That'll be the first couple of companies that you
absolutely,
hear about. You know, I like Publix
absolutely.
too. I think I could throw in Publix there in the top five as well.
I
But
like
you
Publix
know,
a lot. I like
the,
Publix a lot.
yeah, but and that's
Where
it,
else?
right? Like I mean,
Yeah.
how many places can you list off the top of your head where you
I
get
don't
that
think that there's a
excellent
lot.
customer service?
I don't think there's a lot. The same thing, even if you have like a pizza joint that you go to, you got this pizza restaurant down the street that you go to that you've been going to for the past 20 years, and the
Mm-hmm.
chef makes amazing pizza, but then they get a new cook, and all of
Yeah,
a sudden the pizza tastes like crap.
terrible. You're not going back.
You like, and that's what often they say. We tried pizza the other day that my we had a Christmas party. Actually, it was during it was in December. We had a Christmas party. We bought a bunch of pizzas for the clients to come in and enjoy. It was a small thing,
You're making me
and
hungry.
I am hungry right now. um, we did a pizza party, and they got it from this place that they had always bought pizza from that they loved. And
uh,
then the pizzas that we got was terrible. And so, what is the
uh,
conclusion? There must be a new chef in there, someone that
uh,
they don't care the same way the old chef
you
did.
gotta stick to the formula that works.
Back in the day, like not in my day, but in your day, and then in your parents' day, my grandparents,
Hmm.
the quality of work, I think, from what I hear and what I can see and tell, is that it was much better. People actually gave a damn about what they did for
That's it.
customers.
That's
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
they cared.
Yeah.
There was the care factor
Yep.
it's missing. It's lacking today.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
It's lacking severely. It's lacking severely. So, anyways, yeah, don't just go for the business. Don't just go for taking over somebody's business. Look to do better. Look to see what you can provide, what you can offer.
Exactly.
I think you'll be
So,
successful when you do that.
all right. So now, with that, all that background information in mind, you've helped me make my point that it's a good strategy to buy an existing business. And so, what I want to do now is I want to introduce the audience to where you can go look for some businesses. Now, this isn't the strategy that I actually recommend. I actually recommend that you do direct outreach to the companies that you target to acquire, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in order to start practicing how to analyze transactions, analyze deals, you can go to this website that I'm going to introduce you to, Biz by Sell, so that you can start looking at the numbers and seeing how you can structure a deal. Because before you talk to a seller, you've got to know what you're talking about. You got to know how to structure a deal. So this is going to be just a very easy introduction to how to start scanning businesses for sale that meet your criteria, that actually makes sense to go further and have a
Right.
conversation with the owner, right? To try to strike a buy sell transaction. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and open up my screen here so I can show you Biz Buy Sell. Okay, so can you see the Biz Buy Sell website?
I can see it.
Okay, good. Is it full screen or is it just limited?
I mean, It looks pretty full screen to me.
Yeah. Yep. Okay,
Oh
good.
yeah, we got full screen going.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. All right. So I in my criteria, I put Florida and I put financial services industries. You can pick the industry that you want. I chose financial services because I wanted to
Yep.
find some accounting firms, right? And then some of the filters that I added up here was I don't want to see franchises. I want to hide listings that don't show me the price because I can't analyze a deal if I don't know what the price is. And I took off
Right.
hide home based businesses because I'm looking to buy a real business, not something that somebody's operating out of their house. Although that's not to say that you can't be working from home, working remotely. You can absolutely do
Yes.
that. But I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
just zero in on some businesses that have a brick and mortar location
Right.
because I want to weed out some work from home franchise type deals that are not really franchises, but they're trying to operate like that, right? Maybe like a
Right.
business opportunity or a license type thing. So trying to find real businesses that are solid, established, that makes sense to analyze. And
Yeah.
then I'm hiding franchise opportunities because when you're buying a franchise, you've got two partners that you're taking, or you're two people that you're going to deal with. You got to negotiate a deal with the owner of the company, the franchisee, and then you got to go negotiate with the franchisor, the company, to see if they'll qualify you to buy the business as well. And
Wow.
it's too complicated for what we're looking to do because we're just doing micro transactions, and you just quite frankly, there's just enough businesses out there that you can buy existing businesses that are not part of a franchise. And if you want to franchise down the road, that's always an option that you can take. You be the franchisor. Don't buy franchises from somebody else. You make your own franchise. I think is a better strategy.
Yeah,
Just
you don't want to
big
have
picture.
to. You don't want to have to jump through all of those hoops. Is like
No,
what you're
you don't want
trying
to
to
jump into
save
the hoops,
them from
and plus
doing.
you want to build your own brand because
Exactly.
brand has a lot of value, right? So like, are you going to make somebody else's brand wealthy, or are you going to make your own brand wealthy? It's my opinion.
Yeah, I love that. I agree. I feel the same way.
All right, I'm looking in Florida and I'm looking at accounting firms, right? So I got here's one established CPA firm with 12 years of success for sale in Broward County. That's in Fort Lauderdale, right? So
Wow.
so they've got a long stable history, and look at this. They're selling it for 380,000, and they've got a cash flow of $155,000. So right off the bat, simple math: 150 times two is 300,000. This is about a 2.5x multiple, right? That's actually pretty good. A 2x multiple is actually good for a small business that's producing about this kind of money, under $500,000. For a business that's operating, and just give you some multiples right here. When I say multiple, it's like what are you going to multiply your cash flow, your income, your annual income? What are you going to multiply that by to determine your sales price? And so, like to give you an idea, some ranges here real quick. If you're going to buy a business that's making $200,000 to $500,000 a year, then the average multiple in the industry would be a 2.5 to 3x multiples. That means you would pay up to 3 times the annual income that the business is making. If your
Mm,
company is making $500,000 a year, then you should be able to get a 3 to 4x multiple, depending on some other factors like monthly recurring revenue, for the sale of your business. So if you got 3x multiple, that would be 1.5 million, right? You're making 500 grand a year, you should be able to sell your
right.
business for 1.5 million.
Yep.
And then if your company is making $1 million a year, then you should be able to get a 3.25 to a 4.25 multiple. So your target would be try to get a 4x on your price. So if you're on the sell price, so if your NOI or your EBITDA, your cash flow is $1 million a year, you should be able to sell your company for 3 to 4 million dollars. You obviously want to try to get the max $4 million.
Yes.
That's about your price range, $3 to $4 million. These are just rules of thumb. You would want to go and look at multiples in different reports like Stern's at NYU, their School of Business. They have a multiple report, industry report, and there's a couple of other different ones. There's several of them out there that you can just Google and find some multiple reports, and you can see what other businesses in the industry that you're in are trading at. What are they selling for on average? And you can get a better inclination. So you want to look at what's the gross, the cash flow, and then what are other businesses selling for in the marketplace. So
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea. So this company here, if they're selling it, their cash flow is 155 and they're selling it for 380. It's up almost. It's 150 times 2x will be $300,000. It'll be like 310 at 2x. This is 380. So it's somewhere between two. It's probably about 2.5x, right? Without using a calculator, I'm saying it's about 2 to 2.5x. And that's a really good price. Okay, in my opinion, that's a good ask. All right, and that's just top line, not even looking at anything else. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what they have to see if we have any more positives or negatives about this transaction, right? The location is another positive too, because it says Broward County. That's a big city. Fort Lauderdale is a big city, so I'm happy with that. So that would be a positive. So I got 2 positives already so far.
Yeah, the location is something that's very like a brick and mortar store, a brick and mortar business that you're going to buy. The location is very important. It's
It is very
crucial.
important. Okay, so looking at the numbers that they give us here, it says here that the FF&E is included, which means furniture, fixtures, and equipment. And then so how the value of the FF&E is $25,990. And because it's an accounting firm, I would imagine that that's like desks, chairs, computers,
Right.
printers, all of the things that you would imagine having in an office, a fully functional office, right? And then it says inventory is $1,000. I'm imagining that's pens, paper, file folders, for an office space.
Yeah.
So you got another. That's another plus, and that's another plus. I love everything that I've seen so far are pluses. Now let's read the business description. This well-established CPA firm with 13 years of market presence and a stellar reputation. What were you just talking about, Sebastian?
No, reputation, customer service.
Stellar reputation. See there? That's another plus right there. Offers an exceptional turnkey operation for potential buyers seeking to enter or expand, right? What we're talking about is expanding your business.
Yep.
In the accounting services industry. Known for its high-quality services and strong client relationships, this firm provides a wide range of accounting, tax, and consulting services. Accounting, tax, and consult. If I was a CPA right now, I would go buy this business. This is good because they're diversified. Accounting, tax, and consulting. I love this. To a diverse clientele, I'd like to see their books and see what kind of clients they're serving. Key highlights: reputation, renowned for its professionalism, integrity, and excellence in service delivery. Client base, more than 220 active accounts, loyal and diversified.
Wow.
You know what that sounds like? Look, across various industries, ensuring a steady revenue stream. That means recurring business, right?
Right.
Recurring business. I love that. Experienced team, dedicated and knowledgeable staff, ensuring seamless operations and client satisfaction. You know what that means? That means that if I buy this company, most likely the staff is going to I'm going to be able to retain the employees, that they're not going to jump ship if I acquire this business. Sounds like they're happy where they are. It'll be easy to transition and keep them working, right? Because you need somebody to work. You gotta have employees, right?
You gotta have employees, and you gotta have employees that enjoy being there, because then they're gonna put the best efforts that they can while they're there.
Okay, so check this out. Fully equipped with the necessary infrastructure, technology, and systems for immediate transition and continued success. It's turnkey. It has everything that they're saying here is music to my ears.
Mm-hmm.
And then growth potential. Obviously, they want to sell that because they want you to, because they always want to add value to a business so that it's more sellable. So I take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, and I know because it's in Fort Lauderdale, then there is growth, right? I don't think that's much fluff. I think that's actually true. Employees, there's 5 employees. So this is a small office with 5 employees. And what are they producing? They're producing gross revenue almost 300 grand a year. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is with 220 accounts. Now, if they have 220, that's a lot of accounts. I think they're probably not charging enough money for some of the things that they're doing. So you could double this number of employees to 10, and you'll probably make 700 grand a year.
I believe so. From everything that you've shared with us so far in terms of the employee retention rate, They like to be there. They like working there. They enjoy the work environment, so they're going to put a high quality of work. It sounds like the customers enjoy using them. It sounds like the customer is not just going to just spend money with them one time. It sounds like the customers are repeatedly
Yeah,
spending money
yeah,
with them.
yeah. That's recurring revenue. Okay, so this
Exactly.
accountant is retiring. You see here, reason for selling, retirement.
Wow. It's That's just what we were talking about earlier. A
Yeah.
lot of people are going to retire, or
Yep.
they're just getting too old.
This is if you're a CPA, if you're a licensed, because you got to be a CPA to take over this business, right? Because that's a requirement in Florida and in every state. If you know, I mean, there's bookkeeping and there's tax preparation, but accounting, like
Yeah.
full service accounting, you need to be a CPA to own this company.
Yes.
So this guy's, in my opinion, this Carlos Mejia over here. He's the guy who listed this property with XL Business
Yeah.
Brokers. He did a phenomenal job on this listing. All of this, uh, he was not lazy at all. He went through the extra work to give you all of this information, this population growth here, and all of the numbers. Everything. The only thing I don't like is that they're gonna train you for 30 days, but it says 30 days at no charge. So that means that for a fee, the owner may stick on as a consultant to give you some advice on running the business if it takes you a little bit longer to become more acclimated with the operation. So that
That's
may be
another
a positive,
plus.
maybe a negative. I think that 30 days at no charge it's open to interpretation. So I would query if the owner's able to stick around a little bit longer, at least as on a consulting basis, to help me transition over a 6 month period. That's what I would feel comfortable doing that. Guys, I'm not a CPA yet. It's probably going to be 2.5 years before I become a CPA. So I can't buy this business myself. But if you are a CPA, that one right there that we just analyzed as our example looks awesome. It looks really awesome. And I don't know this person. I just pulled this up from scratch just to look at an example. And so if you go with him, great. Yeah, I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything on that. I'm just saying it's a good deal. I'm not getting a referral fee,
I
nothing like that at
agree.
all. I'm just
Hmm.
sharing information, and I'm saying this looks like a good deal. I would have a conversation with the owner. So let me pull it back. That's the first property that we looked at. I'm glad we had a good example on this. So my advice to you is, if you're new to looking at businesses from an investor perspective, right? Because when you're a business owner, you're often like a technician. You're just looking at doing the job, getting the job done,
Right.
which is what this guy over here, Michael Gerber, talks about. He's like, you're always doing it, doing it, doing it, and you got to pull. You got to think like an owner. You got to think like an owner operator.
Yes.
You got to think about your growth strategies and um, pull your head out of the weeds so you can
Yes.
so that you can look at the horizon and see where you can go. And so if you're thinking about growth, right, which we should all be thinking about growth, right? Because if you're not growing, you're declining. And you don't want to be in a declining
Absolutely.
phase unless you're ready to get out the door, right? And if you're getting ready to
Mhm.
get out the door, you should have been talking about what you're going to do to transition your business to another person 3 years ago. So if you haven't
Right.
started yet and you're thinking about retiring in the next 3 years, even if you're not going to retire to like not do nothing, like to go play golf, but if you
Yeah.
just want to exit your business and go do a new business venture, then you should start planning now, right? Because it'll take you about 3 years to do it the right way. I'm not saying that you can't go and list your business today and sell it in 6 to 9 months. You can do it. It happens all the time in America. But to do it properly and to get the most value out of it, you should take a 3 year plan to grow your business so that you can make more money. And really, that question depends on the how much money you can get for your sale. Really depends on what do you want to take home with you when you retire or when you go off to do that next chapter of your life. And so, like, if there's a gap between what you would feel comfortable retiring with on a monthly basis, which is your savings, then how can we bridge the gap from where you want to be and where you are right now? And so that's where some acquisitions might come in
Mm.
handy. And the merger part, just to give you to give you a little bit of closure on the micro M&A mergers and acquisitions. Well, we just looked at a really good business, and we're looking at it from the perspective of, I'm here in Jacksonville and operating my CPA firm here in Jacksonville, right? I'm not a CPA yet. I'm just saying that if I was a CPA and I'm operating my firm here and I want to expand into Miami, I'm going to go look and see what businesses are for sale. Find someone just like we found right now who's retiring. I can go
Yep.
acquire that business. And the next time we do another session like this, which may probably be like in another 2 weeks, then I want to go a little bit deeper into how to finance the transaction. I'll talk about how to break down the financing so that you can really get in like right away without having to save up a whole ton of money to take down that transaction. So that's for the next one because we're running long here already, almost at an hour. But the idea is to take a look at biz by sell, like we did, and start looking at the acquisitions that you can make. So when you find deals like this one, let's say you find one in Miami, you find one in Fort Lauderdale, and that was in Fort Lauderdale. You find one in Tampa, you find one in Orlando. That's like 4 different locations. And you have the one that you started with in Jacksonville. You combine them all together. That's called a roll up. That's the merger part, right? You merge all of these companies into one business. And when you take, and in this case, that was a $300,000 producing company, right? If you 380, let's say if you double the staff and you take it up to 700 grand, right? Plus the one that you have in Jacksonville, now you're at over $1 million. Now, when you go to sell, you are going to get a 4x value versus a 2x value. You've already doubled your money, right? On the multiple that you're able to achieve. And it only gets bigger and better as you grow your company. So if you were to have 10 offices when you retire, you can get a 10x multiple. I'm not saying it's exactly going to be 10x, but let's just, as a ballpark figure, you could probably get 10x the value of what you're producing on an annual basis, your cash flow, because you have a well-structured company, especially if it's running under the operation of a chief operations officer, right? Somebody who steps in and runs, so you can put yourself out and it's totally able to run without you. And that's the idea of micro mergers and acquisitions. Micro means under sub 10 million. So anything below $10 million is a micro M&A transaction. And so you do the acquisitions, you merge them together, and then you take it to the marketplace. And that could help you bridge that gap between what you're earning now and the kind of money that you need for your retirement. So that's it, man. That's how you analyze the deal. That's the first half of it. The second half of it is running through the numbers and seeing how you can structure the transaction financially. And then what do you do after the fact? Once you present an offer, you send them a letter of intent. What happens after that? We'll leave all of that, the to be continued, for the next time we do a webinar. How does that sound, Sebastian?
That sounds great to me. Yeah, you'll get the rest of that information in the next one. It was a lot of information that was covered in this one, and I think like for a business owner that's not thinking about these things, like hopefully you guys, after watching this video, you see exactly how much goes into this that so many business owners are not accounting for. They end up looking at this type of stuff at the last minute. They realize how big of a hole they kind of dug themselves in from not having a plan for whether it's going into the next business venture or just retiring, or maybe they're too old to work and they want to keep working, but they can't. And so now you're in a last minute rush trying to sell your business. And
you have to take whatever you can get.
And then you take whatever you can get because you're in a scarcity, not much of a scarcity mindset, desperate slash desperate mindset. Like you're in a desperate position
and
you just wanted to get it done.
You lose power, you lose control that way.
When we're desperate, like when we try to rush things, when we are desperate in our decision making, like you said, we make bad choices. We make bad decisions. It's not what is best for us in the long run. It's not optimal at all. It might kind of like be a little bit good, but it could be great. It could be terrible. You know, like it could be so much better. You might get a good little chunk of change, but maybe you could have gotten double or triple or quadruple that amount had you prepared properly. So
exactly, right. People don't plan to fail; they just happen to fail to plan. Right? That's the saying.
And then you end up preparing to fail. It's inadvertently. It's what you do to yourself. It's just like a procrastinator. It's just like I'm going back to my high school self, and I waited until the last minute to do an exam, and then I ended up playing basketball too long that day with my friends, and then I ended up playing the game when I got home. And so now I'm at the point where it's 11 o'clock at night and I have to get my essay ready for the next morning, but I'm too tired to do my essay and I only get one page done. And so when I
Yeah.
go to turn in the essay tomorrow morning, guess what I'm going to get is a big fat F because I didn't, I waited to the last minute. I procrastinated. You don't want to procrastinate with your business. You know, like
Yeah.
we make these
Right.
mistakes as younger individuals, but I think as we get older,
Yeah.
it should be, you know, especially you're getting ready to retire. Um, I think that information like this is very helpful because you don't want to be at that position where you're ready to retire and you want to get rid of the business, but you didn't prepare in
Yeah.
any
It's
way
called.
whatsoever. You
Yeah.
screw yourself in the long run.
Yeah.
So
When you sell out of desperation, when you're like selling it at the last minute, you know, the final hour, kind of so to say, it's almost as bad as a fire sale. Like I'm going out of
it
business
is.
and I need to sell everything off, and that's going to be the least rewarding. I mean, getting something at all is better than getting nothing at all. It would be the worst case scenario would be you just shut down the business and then and you get nothing out of it.
And get
That would be
nothing.
terrible. But
Yeah.
the second like a step above that is to be able to sell it for something, walk away with something, like 1x your last year's cash flow. That would be okay, right? 2x would be
That would be
better.
much
2x would be
better.
like, okay,
Yeah.
wow, I actually got a decent sell price and I sold it for 2 times the income that I made last year.
Yep.
I can go to bed at night feeling comfortable that I made a close like that. But
Yep.
it could be better than that, you know, and that's where that planning part comes in. And anyway, that's not everybody if you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, well, maybe I need to sit down with somebody and actually talk about this and plan it out. Then reach out to me, call me, and we'll sit down and talk. I'll set up an appointment to talk to you, and we can actually put it on paper, because when you can see it on paper, it makes a whole lot more sense. I actually have a device called a small business improvement matrix. It has 12 different components of what your business needs to be functioning, doing, so that it's working on all pistons, so to say, right? It's firing, the engine's firing all
Absolutely.
pistons, and you're operating at your optimal capacity. Your business should be doing that before you sell it, and your job as a business owner is to maintain it like that until it closes and transitions to the next person, right? So if you want to talk about that and do a little assessment of where you're at, it'll show you where your risks are, where your weaknesses are, and what you need to do to improve your business. And then also just talking about what your goals are for your retirement, how much money you want to put aside for savings, so that you can give yourself like basically your monthly allowance to live on in your retirement years or in phase 2 of your next chapter of your life. But also, this information is valuable for who I really want to talk to is new entrepreneurs, growing entrepreneurs, people that have their own business. They've been in the business for a few years already. I
Yep.
used to own a real estate appraisal company. I did appraising for almost 10 years, and I opened up my own firm in late 2004 and had to end up shutting it down post Great Recession in 2010. So after having owning for a business that was functional and making over 6 figures for 6 years, owning my own company, to have to lose it is a sad thing. And I would try to grow it out, just with the wrong time. So economics, macroeconomics is important to look at as well. That's always a factor. Great Recession was crazy. Great Recession was definitely a
Yeah.
crazy time, but we're not
Yeah.
there, right? Like we're just coming off of a major boom cycle. We don't know what's going to happen, if things are going to contract even more. They've contracted a little bit. We don't know how much more
Yeah.
contraction is going to happen. But at the end of the day, there's 2 things that are certain in life: death and
Death
taxes.
and taxes.
And so people are going
Yep.
to be paying their taxes. And so I think if you're going to be doing this business, which I'm falling in love with now, then and by the way, my grandfather and my great grandfather were both accountants. My great grandfather was actually a president of a bank in Nichols, Georgia,
Mm.
and he was the mayor as well, Elmo Tanner. Anyway, so I'm actually going back into the family business, so to say.
It
But
was
having been an
destined to
appraiser
happen.
for a decade, I was crunching numbers already for a decade, so it's kind of a little bit different sauce, but it's in the same soup bowl. And
That's a great
anyway,
analogy.
I think if you're going to do this, you should be expanding your business. You should be looking at these growth
Yeah.
strategies, and we should be talking about that, which is why I'm happy to talk about this subject with you guys.
Yeah, and you guys don't need to worry about getting it all done in one session either. I mean, it's
Yeah,
one thing, it's difficult to think about it. I'm a visual learner myself, so it's not something that I would want to get all of it done,
in one
possibly
second.
all at one time because it can be very stressful. So
Yeah,
just
but
by planning, starting to plan it, it takes away the stress. Like, you know that you have your foot in the door, like you're taking a step in the right direction. And I think that's the most important thing. You don't have to do
absolutely,
it all in one time. You can
a
just
hundred percent.
gradually
Slow and steady wins the
make the
race.
plan. Yes,
So,
it
so
does.
before we wrap up, I just want to ask you. I mean, because I'm pretty sure that this was your first time seeing this kind of content, right?
It was. It
Yeah.
definitely was. Yeah. It
Was that
was to
enlightening?
I really think so. I mean, being in my 20s, the information will, I think, in a way register with me a bit different than somebody that's in the later years of their life, especially as a business owner. But
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like I do have my own business and it
Yeah.
got put on hold temporarily, but
Yeah.
I'm going to be getting back to that very shortly here soon when I get back into a vehicle.
Right.
That one, that's just, I guess that's full transparency with you guys. You guys don't need to know all the details, but yeah, I have my own company that I had to put on hold for a short amount of time. So like, in my journey as a business owner, I think about this type of information, and I'm not at the point where I can scale or anything like that. I'm really not at the point where I even need to worry about this. But being somebody who has my own company, it's good information to think about because let's say I was to scale quality assembly. Let's say that it does become something big where I have people working for me, and then perhaps one day I want to sell the business and I just want to live my retired life, going out with my girl on cruises and going golfing every
I'm
single day.
going with you on that.
It's Yeah, and you're going to be joining with that too. It's I think it's important information. Like, I've never heard too much about this, and
Yeah.
maybe that's partially because of my age, but I think it's also because I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I want to think like a businessman now. I want to think like a business owner. I don't want to just be the employee anymore. So information like this is very enlightening to hear.
It's enlightening for me too.
You don't
Look,
get taught
look,
too
just
much.
I didn't
Yeah,
know about Biz by Sell or this other one until probably I don't know about 6 to 9 months ago. I read a book about this guy who sold a tech company, and then he was talking about where you can go advertise your business when you're ready to sell. So that was my first exposure to
yeah,
it. And then I took this class by Roland Frazier and bought his book, took his course, and I learned a whole lot more. So the stuff that I'm going through with you right now is mostly from Roland Frazier. And that guy and I have so many things in common. He was an appraiser.
mm,
He is or was a real estate broker. He's a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I'm a
yeah,
I'm a former appraiser. I'm a real estate broker. We've got a lot, but he's an accountant too. I don't have an accounting degree, so I'm going back to school to get that part. So, but
yeah.
other than that, we have a lot in common. He plays piano way better than I do, but I do play a little bit piano and guitar. So anyway, that guy and I have we're cut from the same cloth, I think here, and so I've learned a
Yeah.
lot, and so what I'm sharing, what I've learned, I'm passing on to our audience, right? And so yeah, don't feel bad. I only learned about Biz by Sell in the past year.
And so that kind of goes to show you, through you, I'm learning this. I mean, I'm
Right.
24 right now.
Which makes me super
Like,
happy.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy you feel that way. I'm also very happy to learn this information. Younger, like, I say younger me, like I talk sometimes as if like I'm in my 40s. So I don't mean to come across like I think
Well,
that I'm super
24
old,
compared to
but
14 is a big difference, right?
I mean, for me, I feel like between 17 and 24 was like 15 years or something, like mentally. I feel like it's been a roller coaster. I feel like
It
yeah,
has
like for
been for
me, I
you.
look back on it. Yeah, I look back
Yeah.
at that, like, I mean, even 2021, I feel like I've come a long way. I feel like I think about, I want to just keep improving. I think
Yeah.
that's what the goal is at the end of the day.
Yeah. Which
And
which I love
so
that about you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I never thought about these types of things before. So it's great to hear this information, but anyone can come across this at any age. So I don't
Hmm.
think it's
Yeah.
relative so much to age.
Yeah.
Um, it's just
No,
like
it's about mindset.
exposure. I think it's about exposure and mind, yeah, and
Yeah.
mindset as well. And I can't
Exposure
imagine
because people don't have access to it.
that's what it is. So imagine
Yeah.
all of the business owners out there that are at this point of their business and then they don't know this information. That can feel very scary. That can feel like
Yeah. Well, you
another
can't be
midlife
afraid of what
crisis,
you don't know,
perhaps.
but what a
Yeah,
sad situation though to not know. It's just tragic that a lot of people don't know. Right?
it is because a lot of businesses they just die out.
They
Sometimes
do. And
businesses, yeah, I mean
I want to
they
share one
die
more
out.
thing
Yeah.
that you just when you said a lot of business die out. I want to give you a number actually. So right now we're in the second half of the silver tsunami, which is a phrase for baby boomers, seniors, boomers hitting age 65. So it started
Wow.
about 10 years ago, and every day there's about 10,000 baby boomers hitting age 65
Wow.
every day, and there's going to be like another 7 more years of that happening, right? Just
Man.
massive,
Yeah.
explosive growth of human beings post World War II. Those people
Yep.
are aging out into the retirement age. Here's the thing, though, like if you turn 65, you are you're still a young person, in my opinion.
Yes.
65 is
Yes.
still young, and with the way that we're progressing in medical science, you're probably going to live to over 100, and they're going to be good years. And as a matter of fact, in another 5 to 10 years,
Right.
our technology is going to be so fantastic that you're going to be able to shave off about 25 years of your life. So when you're 75, it's going to be like you're 50. That's
Right.
amazing because I'm 50 and I can still go out and I run and hit the gym and all that. And
Yep.
so I feel like if I was to jump on a big surfboard, not a little one, not a fish, but like a longboard, I could go surf again if I tried it.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
think that at 75, if you're living like 50, you've got some good things coming to you. And so I think that
Yes.
that there's going to be a lot of business growth happening in that group of senior citizens. But here's the thing. So like the people who did work from, let's say from 20 to 60, 30, 40 years, they're tired and they're ready to get out of that game and they want to go do something else, right? They've made money. So it's not a money issue, but it's a lifestyle change. And so I think that from the statistics that I've heard, approximately 80% of the companies that go on the market to sell will not sell because there's not enough people
Right.
out there to go buy them. And so 20%
That's
will
right.
sell like in the traditional marketplace, but the other 80% are going to shut down. And so that says two things. Number one, you've got to if you want to sell your business, you've got to do things the right way to get it
Yep.
sold. Okay, you need a
Yep.
professional to help you out. And number two, if you want to acquire businesses to grow your company and make more money, now's the best time than ever. And
Yes.
this is a once in a lifetime opportunity in the next 7 years, let's say 7 to 10 years, right? Let's say some people just hang on in their business a little longer. And so anyway, 7 to 10 years, the next decade is the time to acquire those businesses and grow your company into an enterprise. And that's what I love. I love the idea of going from being a solo entrepreneur, one location, to an enterprise level company and exiting that way.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of opportunity for young entrepreneurs to grow their companies and have a really nice retirement if they play the game right. And it's a
At
game.
an yeah.
It's a
At
chess
the
game.
enterprise level, at the enterprise level, it's going to be much easier for you to sell your business
Absolutely.
because you're going to have a lot more connections than just being a one location type of business.
And there's different ways to structure that sell. You can sell it to a
Yeah.
private equity
Yeah.
firm. You can create your own private equity firm and hold
Yep.
on to it as an asset holder, as an asset manager, fund manager. You can when you sell it to a private equity company, they can turn around and sell it to the secondary market, which would be an investment firm and a company that would be interested in taking it public. It could turn into a publicly exchanged on the stock market, not New
Yep.
York Stock Exchange and so forth. So the company will continue to grow and expand, right? And you're the precipice, you're the starting point for that to happen. You're the architect that creates that. And I think there's a lot of fun in that too, right? It's don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work. Trust me, it's a lot
Yeah.
of work.
Sounds
But
like
what the
it.
hell else are you gonna do, right? You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you're gonna grow
exactly.
one company, you want to grow 10, at one time, right? Like it's
Yep.
fun. So for some people, it's this is a really fantastic time to be in business and to grow your business.
Yes.
With
Yeah,
that, I think we should go ahead and wrap it up.
I agree. Yeah, it was a lot. We've shared a lot on this
Yep.
episode. I think it was great information. I learned a lot. Like it was very insightful for me. So I hope you guys feel the same way. And then for the business owners as well that have never even heard about this, I hope that it helps you start to want to put some plans in place.
Mhm.
Like you're playing chess and you want to set up a checkmate. Do that with your business. Set up the
Yep.
checkmate with your exit strategy, and then on the next one, we'll go over the other details that
Yep.
we didn't share on this episode.
Yep. How do you structure the deal? All right, guys.
Yes.
Sebastian, thank you so much for sharing and providing value to our audience, man. It was really, really great to get back on screen with you. Gosh, it's been like a month already. I can't believe
Oh,
it.
thanks.
I think at
I
some point in the future
know. Longer.
we'll come back with season 4 of the Entrefluencer Life, but we're taking a break from that right now and focusing on this growth for our new pathways in our businesses. And so, thanks, man. Thanks for being here. I'm so happy that we got to do this tonight.
I'm very happy too. Thank you for inviting me tonight. I had a great time. I think it was a fun and educating episode, and that's what
Heck
I
yeah,
believe work should be like. Is how you can have your fun, but also you get things done. And I think it was very enjoyable to do this with you again. I've been missing it, so
yeah.
I'm very excited that you
Thank you.
asked me to do this because I've been thinking about it lately, and I think
Awesome.
that we will get back to the podcast again. There's a lot of negativity out there in the world right now, and I
Yeah,
think we need more people to spread some more positivity. And
100%.
because that's what I do, I try to weed out. I don't pay attention to all of the negative that's going on. So I think it will be good to start season 4 again in the near
Yep,
future. But
yep.
like you said, we are working on our own things right now, and I think that that will allow us to come back and be even better than we were before, and that's what the goal
Exactly,
is. So I
exactly.
had a great time. I had a great episode. I
Me
really enjoyed
too.
this with you. I missed it. Yeah.
I'll be letting you know that I'll remind you that in 2 weeks we're gonna come back and do the next one because I want to do these
Yeah, we
workshop
will.
Wednesdays every other Wednesday.
I
So
like that. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah. Sounds like a
awesome.
great plan to
And
me.
and maybe before we do the next episode, we can play around with these new toys on StreamYard because I'm like, oh, we got background music. Oh, we can
Yes.
change the picture. This is really they're adding some fun stuff here, man.
They have some sick updates. They have some
Yeah,
sick
yeah, yeah, yeah.
updates.
It's
I
so
love it.
cool.
That was cool. There's a countdown and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
it's cool with
when we get to
music
the
and all
next
that.
one,
This is
yeah,
fun, man.
we'll mess around with that before the next episode, before the
Yeah,
next series, and
exactly.
we'll have a little introduction in there.
Hopefully we can get that put together in the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, guys. Well,
We'll
thank you
check it
so much
out.
for joining us for this Workshop Wednesday edition of the Entrepreneurial Life and for joining us on this journey of learning about how to analyze investment opportunities in the small business space. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.